Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to part two. I do apologize. I'm going to continue where I left off. Originally, I started at number 5 of my top 5 picks of best matches, or best WrestleMania pay-per-views that's better than WrestleMania 32. Left off talking about Edge and Kane, where Edge defeated Kane in 6 minutes. Now moving on to the main event, which was a triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship in a WrestleMania 20 rematch between Chris Benoit, the champion going in, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H. This match was as good as the WrestleMania event that occurred at WrestleMania 20 that year. These three men put on an outstanding match. It was fun, enjoyable. The action went all over the place. Well, I don't mean all over the place, but it was back and forth action between all three men. And I'll tell you what, Chris Benoit, at the end of the day, wins the match by a submission with the sharpshooter against Shawn Michaels in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I think that was outstanding. Awesome move on Vince McMahon's part at the time. Very cool ending there. So that's number 5 of the top 5 best lists so far on this. The next one that I'm about to talk about was a good one. And this was actually a Survivor Series event. Survivor Series of 2006 was better than this fucking WrestleMania 32 piece of shit. And I'll get into more reason why in just a moment once I pull this up. Just give me 1 second, guys. But yeah, I'm dead serious. I'm over the top crazy about this event in a negative manner. I am extremely, and I mean extremely, fucking pissed about what happened at this event. I mean, nothing to me really stood out heavily except for a few things, as I mentioned before, my rant and my review. But it has to be said, I am taking rant to a whole nother level. I mean, really, this is just, honestly, this is just not what I expected. I was expecting a great event, and we got just pretty much an okay event that should have been an outstanding show. So now the next event was Survivor Series of 2006. I'm ranking that number 4. This event actually had a lot of things going into it. I don't think too many matches were crap. So I mean, we definitely saw a lot of good things happen at this event. And a lot of fun and entertaining things did occur. First match on the card was Team WWE Legends, Ric Flair, Sergeant Slaughter, Dusty Rhodes, and Ron Simmons versus Team Spirit Squad, Kenny, Johnny, Nikki, and Mickey. This match was good to see because of the fact that Ric Flair's team beat the Spirit Squad, and we finally got to see the Spirit Squad get their fucking asses kicked, which personally was a lot of fun to watch, and it just really was worth the watch in comparison to some other fucking tag team matches we've seen. Chris Benoit defending the United States Championship belt against Chavo Guerrero, retaining the title by submission of crippler crossface. And this match was based off of a very good storyline. It was based off of this fact that Eddie Guerrero died, passed away from this life, and they continue with Chavo Guerrero trying to live up to the Guerrero name, and full of jealousy and anger, didn't think that a lot of people that were close to Eddie Guerrero besides Chavo should have been representing Eddie Guerrero in any form, shape or fashion in this case. So we got a great match out of this between Chris Benoit and Chavo Guerrero. It wasn't as long as it should have been, but it was still a good match regardless of anything else. I mean, again, a mid-card championship match better than probably both mid-card matches. This match with Chris Benoit and Chavo, I think I would have taken over the fucking ladder match and the U.S. title match with Kalisto and Ryback. Kalisto deserves so much more than Ryback as the WrestleMania opponent that he had last night. I didn't see the match. I'm just glad that the end result, Kalisto at least walked away. I am very certain the match absolutely fucking sucked and wasn't worth anybody's time. The only thing worthy of that match was the fact that Kalisto walked out retaining the title. So personally, the guy that the guy that Kalisto should have a match with at next year's WrestleMania should be Rey Mysterio. These two guys have very similar styles. They're mirror images of each other. And to see these two guys go up against each other in a really good rivalry storyline would be fucking awesome to see. Well worth everyone's time. And definitely, worth catching and giving Kalisto his WrestleMania moment. This match with Ryback was a joke. I don't even think he should have had this match on WrestleMania. He should have had a different WrestleMania moment, or at least just faced Ryback on Raw, and that would have been suitable enough. But having him on the pre-show plus face Ryback was a complete joke and a waste of his time. Mickie James beating Lita for the Women's Championship. There it is right there. Lita was the champion going into this event, and Mickie James walks out winning the title from Lita. And I believe this was the match that ended Lita's career. This was the final match. Crime Time actually came out and made a mockery of Lita with pulling out her lingerie and shit like that, making her look stupid. But regardless, the match was okay. It wasn't bad. It was only 8 minutes long. Again, though, this women's title match was no comparison to the women's title match at WrestleMania 32. I don't think I will find a single women's title match on any of these top 5 pay-per-views that will outdo that women's title match. It's the only thing WrestleMania 32 has to offer that you could say was, better than everything else that I could point out in these non-WrestleMania pay-per-view events. DX defeating Team Randy Orton and Team Rated RKO, excuse me. This match was actually a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed watching Triple H, Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, and the Hardy Boys beating the shit out of Edge and Randy Orton, John Morrison, Mike Knox, and Gregory Helms in this event, simply because of the fact that these guys were just fucking dipshits. Not to mention that the fact that all members on each team had a reason to be in this. They were all in a storyline rivalry with each other in one way or another. Triple H, Shawn Michaels was with Edge and Randy Orton. CM Punk was against Mike Knox with the ECW television show they were on. Matt Hardy was having his own beef with Gregory Helms. They had a good match at the No Mercy pay-per-view before their Survivor Series tag team match. Jeff Hardy had his rivalry with John Morrison, who at the time was called Johnny Nitro, and they were competing over the IC Championship. So everything in this match had a reason, purpose, and made sense. They all had a rivalry with each other. They all faced each other at least one point or another before this event, and then they just tied them all together. Perfect, well-placed, well-put-together match. And at the end of the day, Shawn Michaels and Triple H's team slaughtered fucking Edge and Randy Orton's team. Simple as that. Next match after that was Kennedy versus The Undertaker. First blood match. This was a bit of a disappointment, a letdown, simply because MVP got involved against Undertaker with Mr. Kennedy. And this just was not exactly what I thought of as a good Undertaker match at a Survivor Series event. Kennedy walked away, luckily, with the victory by getting Undertaker to bleed, but I think Kennedy bled first before the Undertaker. The referee just happened to not see it. Thankfully, it was only 9 minutes long. We had John Cena's team with Kane, Bobby Lashley, Sabu, and Rob Van Dam against Team Big Show with Big Show, Tess, MVP, Finlay, and Umaga. Now, this one wasn't properly put together as well, storyline-wise. They were doing a good job trying to build a beginning storyline with John Cena and Umaga. Bobby Lashley was starting to get involved with the Big Show, which the next week after that, Big Show lost the ECW title to Bobby Lashley in a shitty fucking ECW event, may I add. Sabu and Rob Van Dam, they just seemed like they were just added to the mix, and that was it. So they didn't really have any kind of storyline rivalry with anybody on the card here against the other team. Neither did Finlay or MVP, for that matter. So this was a little bit of a disappointing kind of build, but the match itself was fun, exciting, and enjoyable. Definitely worth anybody's time to watch. So action-wise, it was good. Batista versus King Booker for the World Heavyweight Championship in a last chance match, which pretty much read into itself. There was a lot of stake on the line. Booker was the champion. He faced Batista leading into this event several different times. So SummerSlam, once on SmackDown, and then one more in a fatal four-way match, and then finally this one where Batista finally became the World Heavyweight Champion. And Batista's reign as his secondary championship reign was not all that great. He really faced a whole lot of people. Kennedy and Booker T faced on SmackDown in a rematch, but that was not even memorable to anyone's mind, or even if they remember that. They also had Batista face The Undertaker in a series of matches afterwards, which was pretty good. But Batista lost the title at WrestleMania 23, and that was about it. Just to give you a little bit of a history lesson, I'm certain, though, that other people know the storyline behind Batista after he won the world title. But Batista and King Booker's match was actually pretty damn good. I enjoyed watching this one. It was nice seeing Batista do a screw job to King Booker and hitting him in the head with the championship belt and walking away victorious. And JBL and Michael Cole were great then. I don't know what the fuck the deal is with Michael Cole now and JBL. They are just so fucking annoying. It's disgusting. I literally ignored most of the things that these two douchebags had to say with each other and interacted with each other. Get Mauro Ranallo on the fucking broadcast team on the main cards of pay-per-views and have him talk. Fuck this Michael Cole and JBL. Go piss off with something else, please. These guys just suck. Ugh, God. So yeah, this event, in my opinion, number 4, better than fucking WrestleMania 32. The next event is No Way Out 2009. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll explain why I say that No Way Out 2009 was better than WrestleMania 32. Here's why. Element of fucking surprise, okay? We didn't even know what was going to happen going into this event. I mean, we had Edge pretty much own this whole event. He was in everything. In the beginning of the show and at the end of the show. We had Triple H walk away as the new WWE champion. That I didn't even predict was going to happen when I originally saw the event. I didn't even think that was going to happen. freaking Edge losing the title and being the first one eliminated from this match was a freaking surprise to me. I couldn't believe that happened. Undertaker, I thought was going to be the guy, or Jeff Hardy was going to be the guy to win back the WWE Championship at the end of the day. But Matt Hardy and Jeff were going to have a rivalry with each other. You kind of figured that was going to loom into a one-on-one match at WrestleMania 25. So, I mean, Undertaker was probably another good bet, but they didn't go with that. They went with Triple H, and that led to Triple H and Randy Orton. Speaking of that, Randy Orton faced Shane McMahon in a no-holds-barred match. This was a fucking no-holds-barred match. Again, another match that's no-holds-barred that was fucking good. Action back and forth. There was interference. Oh my God, interference by the fucking oh my God, I forgot that. It was Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes. I forgot the fucking name of their faction. That's pretty bad. I'm saying this is better than WrestleMania 32. Wow, that's fucking dumb. Anyway, yeah. The Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Ted DiBiase Jr. were trying to help Randy Orton beat Shane McMahon. This match was back and forth, fun, entertaining shit, a lot of good action, and it was an all-out, complete, and utter brawl in this one-on-one match. Shane McMahon was trying to get revenge on his father being punted in the head by Randy Orton. Very good. I mean, it made sense. Shane McMahon was standing up for his father instead of competing against his father to make his father stop making the show look like shit, in which case that didn't really have any impact or improvement on the show because the fucking show sucked anyway. Shane McMahon killed himself for no good reason, in my opinion, and that match was good, but this one, Randy Orton, was better. I have to say that, as crazy as that sounds. Randy Orton and Shane McMahon was actually better than Undertaker and Shane. But the Hell in a Cell match was still really good. No disrespect to it. But I actually found a lot more momentum going into Randy Orton and Shane McMahon's match than Shane McMahon's and Undertaker's Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 32. Just saying. But the action in that match was really good and well worth everybody's time. If you haven't seen that match before, I recommend going ahead and checking it out on the WWE Network or just checking the specific match on YouTube. The other match, Jack Swagger defeating Finlay for the ECW Championship, retaining the title. No big deal there. Who fucking cares about that? Shawn Michaels defeating JBL. This match was a great storyline. You had Shawn Michaels at the time. They were relating to people in reality, stating that, hey, you know, we're in the time of the economy's collapse. Shawn Michaels is saying he needs a way to save his finances. JBL is a very wealthy man who's had no problems with his money financially. And he hires Shawn Michaels to be his hitman to go ahead and help him win the world title leading into Royal Rumble against John Cena that year. Fortunately, Shawn Michaels was unable to help JBL win that belt. And also on top of it, Shawn Michaels kept trying to get revenge on JBL even though he was trying to help him at the same time. So JBL gave him an offer he couldn't refuse. Have a match with me. I beat you. You have nothing. You get zippity-doo-dah. You win. You walk away with all the money I promised you, and you don't have to work for me anymore. Because I can't stomach you. You can't stomach me situation. So let's just end it all together. All or nothing. What do you say? Shawn Michaels, of course, accept. They had a good match, and the action was fun and enjoyable all around from beginning to end. Next, the last match on the card, World Heavyweight Championship match in the Elimination Chamber. John Cena champion going in, facing Rey Mysterio, Chris Jericho, Mike Knox, and Kane. And the man who was supposed to be in this match was taken out by Edge. That was Kofi Kingston. And we had a surprise entrant by Edge in this match. And he walked away the World Heavyweight Champion. Who the fuck actually thought that was going to happen? I sure as hell did. I didn't think Edge was going to crawl out of the woodwork after losing the WWE Championship and turning from being the WWE Champion to being the World Heavyweight Champion in one fucking night. That was just unbelievable. Edge was great in his performance. John Cena got eliminated in the middle of the match, so we had a guaranteed World Heavyweight Champion at the end of this match was supposed to end. And Rey Mysterio and Edge, the last two entrants in this match, proving once again they can put on a great match with each other. A tall guy and a small guy putting on a great match with one another, and it was fucking awesome. Unfortunately, Edge walked away victorious instead of Rey Mysterio, but it was supposed to be expected. I mean, you're going to compare Edge to Rey Mysterio as world champion. Edge is a far better world heavyweight champion than Rey Mysterio, even though Rey Mysterio has had a lot of, good matches in his career. His world championship runs weren't all that impressive, and that had it has a lot to do with the fact that he's a smaller guy, and he just really, him being placed up against guys like John Cena and other taller men doesn't exactly work out, and it's not very realistic. Not taking credit away from Rey Mysterio as a world champion, it's just that the fact that his height is what affects the realism towards the match. It really fucks it all up. So that's number 3. Now, we're going to get into number 2. Vengeance 2001, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that's right. Vengeance 2001 was better than WrestleMania 32. And here's the reason why. Who the fuck thought that Chris Jericho was going to be the first real undisputed World Heavyweight Champion in comparison to the Randy Orton WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Unified Champion? I couldn't believe back in 2013, this is going a little off topic here because I'm supposed to be comparing these non-wrestling pay-per-views to WrestleMania 32, and yet I'm kind of going off basis here, but I'll just kind of explain why. And that's because the real world WWE World Heavyweight Champion or Undisputed Champion for the first time was Chris Jericho. It wasn't Randy Orton. It wasn't any of these mofo motherfuckers that keep saying, oh, I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah, Chris Jericho was the first real undisputed World Heavyweight Champion of all time. And going into the Scotty 2 Hotty and Albert versus Christian and Test. I don't know about this match. This match was kind of a piece of shit. I didn't even really ever watch this match whenever I watch it on my DVD, so I don't really care about that one. Edge versus William Regal, the IC Championship. This actually was a good rivalry. They had back and forth action leading into these two throughout late 2001 to into 2002. So not a bad match. This was good, but not as good as the IC title ladder match. I have to admit that. Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, one-on-one, great match. Definitely kind of equal to AJ Styles and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 32. Can't deny that. Dudley Boyz versus the Big Show and Kane. Oh yeah, I'm not even mentioning the winners of these matches. Edge defeated William Regal for the IC Championship. Scotty 2 Hotty and Albert defeated Christian and Test. Jeff Hardy defeated Matt Hardy. The Dudley Boyz defeated Big Show and Kane in a tag team championship match. This was not a bad match whatsoever. Would I say it's better than the tag team match between New Day and League of Nations? I don't quite think so. I think it was pretty much even in that situation. Undertaker defeating Rob Van Dam for the Hardcore Championship. This was a hardcore match. This was brutal. Rob Van Dam struggled. He tried his best, and yet he could not walk away the man. But regardless of all that, Undertaker and Rob Van Dam equally come together, put on a great hardcore match, and Undertaker walked away as the new hardcore champion. So not a bad match there. It was a little over 10 minutes long. The next match from there was Trish Stratus defending the Women's Championship belt against Jacqueline. And Trish Stratus walked away as the new, or retained the Women's Championship, excuse me. This match I didn't really care for. I didn't even really watch when it happened, and I didn't watch it on DVD either. The WWF Championship, first match of the two, world titles being on the line before the unification match. Stone Cold Steve Austin defeating Kurt Angle in a pretty okay match out of the series of their matches. Stone Cold and Kurt Angle's best match was SummerSlam of 2001 and Unforgiven of 2001 as well. This match was just kind of a watered-down match. It wasn't exactly as long as the other two, or even significantly as good as the other two as well. Stone Cold Steve Austin, of course, walks out retaining the championship against Kurt Angle until later on he faces Chris Jericho. Mentioning Chris Jericho, kind of skipped ahead here. The World Championship, The Rock was champion going in. Chris Jericho won by a screw job and then wins by a screw job against Stone Cold Steve Austin to unify the WWF and the World Championship into the undisputed WWF Championship belt. This match, I have to say, this whole thing was a complete shocker. I really could not believe that Chris Jericho was the guy that was going to walk out as the new World Heavyweight Champion. I was kind of expecting the last two guys to win or face each other was going to be Steve Austin versus The Rock, and Vince McMahon did a complete flip on the switch. Jericho wins the world title and also beats Stone Cold Steve Austin the same fucking night. Nothing like that has ever happened in WWE history. Not one guy has defeated two well-recognized individuals like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock in any era like this. And this was an impressive historical event altogether. This was the first ever Undisputed Championship match, unification title match that ever happened in the company's history. That bullshit in 2013 TLC was what it was. Bullshit. So who fucking cares? I don't even recognize that bull crap at all. All right, so we've gotten to two. What's number one, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think I'm going to say is number one? Do you think it's going to be some fucking idiotic show? Let me just stop with the bullshit. I'm just going to get straight to the point. The number one best pay-per-view, that was non-Wrestlemania was SummerSlam of 2005. That's correct, ladies and gentlemen. This was the best match or best pay-per-view of all time in comparison to WrestleMania 32. This tops fucking WrestleMania 32 in a fucking heartbeat. Every fucking match on this card was better at WrestleMania 32, except for the Divas title match, AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. And that's about it. The rest of the fucking card absolutely sucked balls. So getting into the results of this event, and then we will be able to close out this video. First match on the card, Chris Benoit versus Orlando Jordan for the United States Championship. Orlando Jordan was the champion going in, ends the match in 25 seconds, and wins the title by submission. And this match was actually better than The Rock's 20-minute of bullshit that I ever saw in my life, and then with a 6-second match ending with him and Eric Rowan. What a fucking joke that was. This had just a 25-second match, was scheduled, it was planned out, it was set beforehand. We just had the match, and the match ends. Simple as that. Nothing to it. Simple, straight to the point, get it the fuck over with. And Chris Benoit, being the technical wrestler he was, wins the damn title and beats Orlando Jordan in 25 seconds. Thank God to that, because Orlando Jordan sucked, just like Eric Rowan sucks. But at least we didn't have to sit through 20 minutes of fucking promoted bullshit garbage like The Rock did last night. Edge defeating Matt Hardy in a singles match, in a knockout, by knockout. This match wasn't a hardcore match, but it kind of had similarities. Think about it this way. Wouldn't it have been better if Dean Ambrose would have lost by knockout than by pinfall? Let's be real. It would have shown that Dean Ambrose has balls, even though, yeah, he still had balls, regardless, the way they were putting him over in that match. But it would have showed he still had a lot of technical fortitude to walk away as the man and try whatever he could to win. Again, I think they should have used the barbed wire bat. That was never used, and everything else. That match, if they were going to have a predictable ending like Brock Lesnar defeating Dean Ambrose, a knockout would have been the more suitable way of ending it than having him win just by a simplistic pinfall, which is pretty fucking sad. Or Dean Ambrose winning by, the Wyatt family fucking over Brock Lesnar, which would have been probably even the more suitable idea. But regardless of all that, a knockout would have been pretty interesting and different for an end of a hardcore street fight. But yeah, Edge beat Matt Hardy by knockout. Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero for the ladder match, custody of Dominic. Now, the storyline going into this was a little silly, a little fucking retarded, but it was about competition. It was about proving, can Eddie Guerrero ever beat Rey Mysterio? Throughout 2005, Eddie Guerrero was constantly losing to Rey Mysterio in consistent matches. And I have to say this: you take AJ Styles and Chris Jericho and the ladder match for the IC title and compare it to this. And again, I will say this one is better than both of those combined. Another match that's better than 2 fucking matches combined. Get the hell out of here with this bullshit. Really. Rey Mysterio wins by defeating Eddie Guerrero and climbing the ladder, getting custody of Dominic, which technically in reality that's Rey Mysterio's real son anyway, so it was kind of retarded, but it was still, a good match. Definitely a great ladder match, very enjoyable to watch. And again, it was fucking awesome. Kurt Angle faced Eugene. Now, this was a little bit of a silly match. It was for Kurt Angle's Olympic gold medals. And it was actually for his real gold medals, if you can believe that shit. Kurt Angle defeated Eugene. This was actually very interesting. Despite the fact that Eugene was such a silly character and really was stupid as fuck, this match wasn't bad. Kurt Angle displayed how he is still the greatest. He is one of the greatest fucking wrestlers that ever lived in professional wrestling, hands down. And it was an awesome, outstanding match. Randy Orton facing The Undertaker at SummerSlam of 2005. Another blockbuster singles match that I have to say was better than any kind of fucking Brock Lesnar match with Dean Ambrose. Better than fucking Roman Reigns and Triple H for the world title. I can't say that Randy Orton Undertaker was better than Shane and Undertaker with the Hell in a Cell match. I mean, it did have some very cool moments in that match. So I can't say that that would outdo that WrestleMania 32 match. Randy Orton Undertaker was way better than AJ Styles and Chris Jericho. I have to admit that. This action was back and forth. You didn't really know who was going to win technically, but you kind of had a gut feeling Randy Orton was going to win, and he won by a screw job fashion by having his old man help him win the match against The Undertaker. So, not bad at all. Definitely enjoyed that match. It was one of the top-notch matches on the card. Truth of the matter is, not one single match on this card was bad at all, and was well worth a pay-per-view. It was worth being on the main card, every single match on this card. That's number one reason why this is the number one best non-WrestleMania event in comparison to WrestleMania 32. John Cena defending the WWE Championship against Chris Jericho. This match, John Cena and Chris Jericho tore the fucking house down, with the audience booing the fucking shit out of John Cena, and yet it was still a fucking way better match than Roman Reigns and Triple H put together. They could have put on 3 fucking World Championship matches at WrestleMania 32, and this match would have topped them all 3 of them. So they could have had a best out of 3 series with Roman and Triple H, and it wouldn't have fucking mattered. John Cena and Chris Jericho outdo Roman Reigns and Triple H in comparison in WWE title matches. Fuck them. They sucked. That whole match was a fucking waste of everybody's time. 27 wasted minutes, and I just wanted to fucking puke. Couldn't stomach that. That was actually the most disappointing match out of everything. A waste of everybody's time, and yet they, like I said, they give WrestleMania 31 main event for only 16 minutes. They give 27 minutes to the fucking WrestleMania 32 main event. What a joke. Batista, the champion, going in, defending the world title in a no-holds-barred match. John Bradshaw Layfield. This match was actually hardcore to me. This match was all over the arena. They fought each other. They went through the barricade. It reminded me of the world title match with Roman Reigns and Triple H. They interacted with the crowd in some way or another. They went all over the place in less than 10 minutes. And they were more hardcore, and fucking JBL got power bombed straight to hell through the steel steps, and that was the end of that. JBL lost to Batista. Outstanding, simplistic, straight-to-the-point match. Definitely, I mean, I wouldn't say it was better than some of the matches on WrestleMania 32, but it was definitely still a good match regardless. I think it probably would have helped improve WrestleMania 32 a little bit more than what it was, to be honest with you. Hulk Hogan facing Shawn Michaels. You all know how my opinion is. If you haven't watched my videos and me voicing my opinion on Hulk Hogan, here's my opinion, just short and sweet. I don't like him. I think he's a little like dirtbag, and that's just based on his personal life and what he's done. But yeah, I don't care for him too much at all. His character's great, but the person he is outside the ring is much to be asked for as a person. I mean, he's not exactly what you call the real American, or a person you want to have your kids looking up to, because he's a putz. But yeah, Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels went into this match in a heel turn that only lasted a month, thank God, because Shawn Michaels playing the heel against Hulk Hogan was really stupid. I didn't quite understand that, but it was still a story nonetheless. Shawn Michaels was displaying some of his old school tactics as a bad, cocky, egotistical asshole that he was at the time when he was younger, displaying it once again as an older man, and he was doing a pretty damn good job of it. Especially that little promo he did with Larry King, and acting as Hulk Hogan, going, "Oh, I'm gonna wrestle forever, brother," and they pretend that he fucked up his back and they super kicked Larry King in the face. I don't even know if that was Larry King or just somebody pretending to be him, but it was still pretty damn funny regardless. Hulk Hogan walked away victorious against Shawn Michaels. It was a good match regardless. And definitely hell of a lot better than Roman Reigns and Triple H. if you put Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 32, this would have made it improved 10 times more than what it was. I'll tell you that much. It would have felt like WrestleMania if you had Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels. No matter who fucking won the match, it wouldn't have mattered. But again, great. This card right here was better than WrestleMania 32, hands down. I mean, the other, events that I did that I mentioned in these two videos, I mean, you might dispute it. You might say, hey, what the fuck you talking about? You might have a point. But just based on the mere build-up towards these events, the matches themselves, the input the efforts that were put in by these guys in all these events in comparison to WrestleMania 32, there was heartfelt things thrown into these non-pay-per-views that were better than the fucking WrestleMania 32, quite honestly. Again, as I've mentioned before, there was no heartfelt build into this WrestleMania card. There was no feelings towards it. It just seems like they were just going about their business, going through the motions, and did the match and got it over with. These events that I mentioned to you guys had some sort of element of importance, some sort of surprise, some sort of thing that came out of that pay-per-view and was worth your time and investment to watch. And each one of these events that I mentioned are only 3 hours long. We sat through for 5 hours of that fucking shit. And I swear to God, it was never even mentioned that it was supposed to be a 5-hour special event. And we had to sit through that crap and be miserable. And, I mean, I'm going about things, kind of changing my mind a little bit about the event, I think, by the way I'm saying things. But in all honesty, I think that this event could have been done 10 times better than anyone else. Now, I've hammered the shit out of this. I really don't give a fuck if it bothers anybody because, like I said, I'm taking this ranting to a whole nother level. Because I was looking forward to this, and it just kind of flattened out for me. And I think that as you audience and people that are fans of the professional wrestling and WWE product, you deserve better than that. And I'm just voicing my opinion on this. And these events I just mentioned here, these top 5 events, put that fucking event to shame one way or another. Especially the SummerSlam of 2005. There's no doubt about it. SummerSlam of 2005's card fucking outdoes WWE WrestleMania 32 with ease. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, at this time, guys, you know what to do. Lay a smackdown on the subscribe button. Leave your comments and opinions down below. And also on top of that, if you liked the video, you thought it was worth your time, and you definitely thought that my opinion on some of these matches, I mean, maybe the full card aren't all better than the WrestleMania 32, but each one of them that I mentioned had some sort of better, some sort of element of importance. This, like I said, the WrestleMania 32 does not have any element of importance to me. It just seemed like an event that was put on just for the sake of being put on, and that's it. But anyway, at this time, I thank you very much for watching, and have a great day, guys. Enjoy. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and you will see me one last time before the night's over with me doing a retro Raw review of January 4th of 1999 of Monday Night Raw. Anyway, at this time, guys, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day, guys.